Hello, and thank you for joining us today for our tutorial with paper crafting with Tracey. Today we're going to do this fun fold card here, and it's when you take the band off, it opens up, and you've got this pop-out design. So I'm going to do a completely different pattern today. So you're going to start with your card base, and I've chose Night of Navy. And this is 5.5 by 8.5, and you score it on the long side at 2 1/8 from both sides, and then just fold it over. So this is a gatefold card. Okay, just like so. Now you're going to take a piece of basic white, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and that's just going to go right in the center. So I will just get my tape here, my stamp and seal, and we'll tape that down. Okay, I do want to thank everybody for supporting my videos by subscribing to my channel. I very much appreciate it. So we'll just mount that in the center here. Like so. And then you've got 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 4 inch, and these are scored at the 1 inch, the 2 inch, and the 3 inch mark, so that when you, and then just fold them all over so it will create a square, but don't glue it together yet. So what you're going to do, because you've got 2 of them, is you're going to put a piece of tape on one end on both sides. And you're going to lay this down just up approximately 1 inch from the bottom of the card. Okay, so what's going to happen is that's going to circle around like so, but all you're going to do is lay it flat and then come down. So we'll do that in a moment. And you're going to do the same with the top. Okay, so again, about 1 inch down from the top. And then now we're going to tape the top square. Perhaps I should have done this one at a time. Okay. And you're just going to fold that over so that when you open it up, it creates a square. If you can see that there. And then same thing, just fold that over. And that's how simple that is. Now, you're going to take some contrasting cardstock. So what I'm using for this is some soft seafoam. And I've got some DSP here. And what I'm using for my designer series paper is from the Celebration, one of the free sets. Okay, and this is the Paper Blooms designer paper. And I'm using some of this large print flour. Okay, as well as the other side I'll be using as well. So I'm, for the inside, going to use the back. So you want to be careful when you put these in place. Okay, so if you just lay it down gently, I'm just going to, oops, put some tape in there, and same with this one, tape there. Okay, and then I'm just going to lay these down on top, and I can use my fingers just to make it stick. Oops, before I did that, sorry, I needed to mount it to my coordinating cardstock. So let's do that first. So the size of these squares, okay, the designer series paper is 1 by 7/8 by 1 by 7/8, and the coordinating cardstock is 2 inches square. And so we'll mount those. because I wanted my flowers sticking on some leaves for this design. And now I will mount these here. Okay, so that when you close it, it does that design. Okay, and I'll do the same up here. Okay, so again, you close it and they lay flat. Okay, I'll just make sure that one was straight. Okay, and then the only other thing I did is I took out of this DSP here, is I just fussy cut a couple of the flowers. So I'm going to pop that on just for a design in the center, like so. Okay, so the other thing is you're going to have another piece of DSP, or designer series paper, and it is a 2-inch square that I just cut diagonally. So I think, and these are going to go in these corners here. So I'm just deciding, I think I'm going to use the stripe for it. So we'll just use some glue here. Or some tape, I mean. And I'm just going to mount it up in the corners. Like so. And I'll do my stamping at the end, because I'll put a sentiment in the center. Normally I do that before I adhere my white cardstock, just in case there's an error with it, but I'm going to leave it till the end. Okay, so those are done. So the inside is done with all my designer series paper, and it closes nicely. So now I've got 2 other pieces of designer series paper. And these are 2-inch by 5 3/8, and I'm going to mount those on my coordinating cardstock again. And so these are, these ones are 2-inch by 5 3/8, and the designer series paper is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So we'll just move that out of the way. So again, this is another one of those cards that can showcase some of the beautiful designer series paper that we have. And it actually uses very little paper. So I ended up using up quite a bit of my scraps. Another thing you can do with the designer series paper that's going on the front is if you cut out the same image, slice it down the side there, then when it closes it's going to be the kind of matching the seams of the designer series paper. I didn't do that with this one, but it is something that you can do. Okay. So we're almost finished the assembly here. Okay, and now I will just mount these to the card base. And it's a very thin border on this one. You can always adjust the measurements if you prefer a little bit larger border. Just like so. Now, before I put on the belly band and that sort of thing, I'm going to do my stamp. So I've chosen to use the Lovely You stamp set. And I'm going to do just Cherished Friend for the inside. So I'm going to just use some Night of Navy in there. So I'll just ink that up. I'll lay this flat. And I think I'll stick it up there. There we go. And then I'm going to take some Petal Pink, because that kind of coordinates with the color that's in the designer. And I think I'll just take the little flower that's in there. And I think I'll just add that as well. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, to do the belly band, before I do that, I just took a couple pieces of cardstock and I cut a 2-inch circle and a 2 1/4 inch circle, and I'm going to first deal with the white. So all I want to do is, again, from this stamp set, I think I'm just going to use Smile. So I'll just get my block here, and I'm going to use the Night of Navy again on the front. There we go. And I think I will also put another little flowery design in there. Actually, I think I'll put some leaves. So I've got some soft sea foam. And I think I will just add some dimension with the leaves. Oops. There we go. Okay, so I will mount that. To my Night of Navy backing, like so. And now to make the belly band, all I did was take a piece of soft sea foam, and this is 1 inch by 9.5 inch. So the easiest way to do it is if you start kind of behind. And you don't want it super tight, because otherwise it's not going to slide nicely. So it looks to be about there. So I will just put a piece of tape on the end. And now I'll stick it on there just one more time before I actually tape it down. And I'm just going to ease it up a tiny bit. Like so. And therefore it slides easy. If you do it too tight, it does not slide. Okay. And now I'm going to take this and put it on the front. So I'll actually just go right across there and mount my sentiment. Like so. And there you have it. A nice, easy pop-out gatefold card. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with Paper Crafting with Tracey. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and happy stamping!